Alright, this is match number 20 with Mega Camerupt, and I have made just a couple of changes. I've reduced my count of Switch, I increased my count of Pokegear, and so we'll see if that ends up being impactful. I think it will, because Switch is something that I'm not going to use super often. Basically, they need to be burned, I need to hit with Camerupt, and then I would switch to get back into Volcanion and burn something else. So there's a lot of factors that need to go into play for that. So I reduced it to 2 of the switch, kept my jet energies, and I get no basic in this opening hand. Not great. Typically don't want to give your opponent extra cards. And this is also not great. I'm going to start the Latias because at least I know it's not going to go down immediately. Bench the Numel and the Magmar. Do have Magmortar. And I do have Hilda. So really all I need at this point, if I can't get the Precious Trolley, just getting a Nest Ball for a Volcanion. And we do see Applin on the other side, so it is Festival Lead. That is a single prize deck that can hit some big numbers, and also with the Festival Ground in play, it can attack twice. So this could be dangerous, because I'm only going to be able to take 1 prize each turn, and they are going to be trying to take big KOs on my EX Pokemon to get multiple prizes at a turn. And oh my goodness, top deck, the Precious Trolley, that's fantastic. So let's open with that. Yep, and so I get 1 more of each of those guys. The only unfortunate thing, if only I had one of those TM Evolutions. Somehow I got both of them in my first hand where I got the mulligan. But at least we got this. And I did grab a Jet Energy here because I already have 2 fire in hand. And I'm going to save it because Latias gives itself a free retreat. I can't do an attack this turn, so there's no reason for me to Jet Energy and then use my retreat from Volcanion. I may as well hold on to the energy for where I need it. Scalding Steam, and I'm not attaching an energy this turn because I don't need to. I'll kind of just preserve those. That is one nice thing about relying so heavily on burn, is that most of the time I don't even need the energy to do that. They do just evolve to get rid of the burn. Diplin is often the big attacker for those Festival Lead decks with its Do the Wave, and they already have a Thwackey, which is bad. Thwackey's Boom Boom Groove, as long as the Pokemon in the active has Festival Lead ability, they can search their deck for any card. Yeah, there it goes. So with that, especially with the second Grookey on the bench, Festival Grounds is now in play. Black Belt's Training used, my goodness. So Black Belt's Training attacks by your Pokemon do 40 damage more to the opponent's EX. And so even though Do the Wave is only 80 plus 40 is 120, and they do it twice because of Festival Lead and the Festival Grounds, and so Volcanion is already down. So it is only my second turn, and I have already gone down to, they've already taken 2 prizes. Alright, so now the only option I really have is to apply constant pressure. The nice thing about them being so weak is that, and also the fact that I hit for weakness, I'm going to be able to take at least a prize every single turn. And if I can survive any turns without getting knocked out, we'll be okay. Because removing 1 from there does mean, unless they can get more on the bench, Do the Wave is not going to be a lot, or not enough, I should say. Even hitting twice in a row, they're going to have to do it for a couple of turns just because of how much HP Camerupt has. Okay, well, Buddy Poffin, so max Do the Wave immediately. And they can Boom Boom Groove. Get themselves another thwacky. Boom, boom, groove again. Now they can do it twice a turn. And that's just really hard to counteract. Yeah, do the wave, so it's 100 plus 40. They do it twice. And already I am close to knockout, but not there yet. I also did add another copy of Professor Turo. So at this point, because they've already taken 2 prizes, it doesn't really matter if I've got both Camerupt in play because they'll have to take them both out in order to get their last 4 prizes. I'm grabbing a Switch and the Team Evolution. It's the only tool I've got in the deck. Switching for the other Camerupt. Continuing to apply the pressure. Okay, and I grab the other switch from my prizes. And I've got Pheasantipity in hand, so if and when they take that next knockout, I'll be able to flip the script. And I do have the extra bench space open. If I had been able to get my second Magmortar, I could have used Numel to Singe and just let it go down to burn. And then I only have a single prizer in the active, but I have not been that lucky yet. And they do carry boss's orders. That makes a whole lot of sense, because then you get the knockout on the one you need. Pal Pad to put a boss's orders and a Black Belt's training in the deck. And so, yeah, Do the Wave is weaker, but it was enough to take out the Camerupt. And they get to do it again. And I put Magmar up because it's single prizer. Well, I mean, not that it matters. All they need is 1 prize now. But I knew it wasn't going to go down to that. Okay, so there's Pheasantipity. We'll flip the script. And speaking of Turo, so I'm going to use that now. Pull up the Magmar, because it is only 10 HP away from getting knocked out. Camerupt back in the active. And I'm going to Pokegear. Okay, boss. That's not as important here. I mean, it would have been good earlier, and I could target down the 1 Thwacky that they had, but they've got 2. So realistically, they can still get whatever it is they need in the moment. Okay, and I've got 3 prizes left to take. Single prize decks are a challenge for Camerupt for sure, because there's just no way to take out multiple Pokemon in a turn. And they promote the Goldeen, not what I would have expected, but of course, you know, they don't have Applin on the bench, so they're not going to have a Diplin this turn. And Lilligant, you don't see that too often. Sunny Day. Attacks used by your fire and leaf Pokemon do 20 extra damage. And when you can do it twice, like with Do the Wave or Festival Lead, that adds up. Oh, and they go straight for Seeking. So Seeking does 60. I have Water Weakness, which is 120. And they get to do it twice. So that with the boss's orders means they get their last prize. Camerupt could have survived that, would have been low, could have reverse knocked out, but then they had Applin on the bench, so. Ouch. Good job, Festival Lead. It's a deck that I've played around with myself, but not in a while, so good game.